Not who you were expecting, huh? I bet that shocked you. Yeah, I'm not Alexandra. Obviously, she's not as good looking as me, so that might have been what threw you all off. Like, wow, that's a stunningly good looking man there. So yeah, Alexandra is off celebrating Rosh Hashanah. So hope she's having a good holiday with her family. And me being the bad example of a Jew, I'm here on podcast. So I'm here so she can be righteous, and I'm not. So I'm here. So I hope I didn't scare you all that much, because I can be quite scary. I understand that, but we're gonna have a good show. I'm gonna try to be as professional as she is, since it's her show and it's not my show. So I am definitely gonna try to keep the salty language toned down as much as I can. I don't want to scare her her viewers off with my typical sailor walking out of a bar after payday on a Saturday night language, because that would just not be good. And as always, Damon Sherrod is back there, the puppet master, making sure I really don't step into it, since this is not my show and I'm just a guest. So if I abruptly disappear, I've done something wrong and they're trying to save her. So just keep that in mind. I am Seth Eisenberg. I am not usually, I'm always the host of the Conservative Corner on Sundays. Again, I'm stepping in for my fellow tribesman so she can celebrate the high holiday with her family. Um, and I hope she's enjoying it. And I'll get into a little bit more Rosh Hashanah later on and explain to you, if you don't know what that is, what it is, so you can get a better understanding. But it's just that's what's going on in a nutshell. So thanks for joining us, or me, on Alexandra's show. Again, this is All In with Seth. Alexandra's not here. Same show. You're in the right place. Don't panic. Um, it just is what it is right now. So I guess we're going to get into the breaking news. Every time I look down, I see her name and it throws me. I keep waiting for her to say something. And I'm like, what? Oh, it's me, not her. Excuse me. So, there's a lot at the very bottom here. You can see there's some breaking news that just popped up. That was, I don't know, did y'all just see that one? 54% of, what does it say? 54% of all liberals think killing Charlie Kirk was it okay? Hold on, I got to see that again. Hold on, that was kind of, it's coming up again. Here we go. All in breaking news. Here we go. And we'll get into the Ryan Routh thing too here. I got a little bit on him. YouTube will reinstate conservatives' ban for so-called misinformation. Trump now says Kiev can reclaim all land with NATO help. And we don't need to get involved. There it is. 54% of liberals call Kirk killing understandable. All right, I'll get into that later. I don't even have to. I haven't had enough soda yet to deal with that crap. That'll send me right off the edge. Understandable. Okay. And this is kind of a preemptive explanation of what I'm going to get into later. I don't know if you've seen this. This was late last week, early this week. Hamas carried out a public execution of 3 Palestinians. Well, they're not Palestinians because there's no such place. 3 Gazans in the heart of Gaza City because they helped or they sympathize with Israel. We're not going to show the video. Once again, this network is not about showing snuff films or anything like that. This picture pretty much sums up what happened to those gentlemen. And again, we'll get into that later. And we'll get into the fact that there are useful idiots in this country and around the world that support this, that are supporting this barbaric country and recognizing it. We'll get into that in a minute. But yeah, this was this past week. They killed 2 or 3 people in the middle of the street because, God forbid, they believe Israel has a right to exist. That's Gaza right there for you. Beautiful people. Just a wonderful culture. Loving, caring people live there. It's a great family vacation spot, as you can see. Bring the kids, bring the family, kill some Jews, shoot some guns in the air, eat some falafel, and go home. It's just a lovely, lovely city, and I wish nothing but the best for them. If you can't tell, if you've never watched me before, I am dripping with sarcasm. Literally. Some people sweat I drip sarcasm. It's horrible. If you could see my room here, it says National Sarcasm Society. Yeah, like we need your help. Literally, if that were a true club, I would be the president. If sarcasm were an Olympic sport, I would be the Michael Phelps of sarcasm. I'd have like 55,000 gold medals. I'm not kidding. This happened today. I don't know if you remember this weirdo, Ryan Wesley Ruth. Now, why is it every time there's an assassin or an attempted assassin, they have three names? I mean, really, why is it? That's weird. Or maybe it's just me. But he was found guilty today on all counts, including attempted assassination of President Trump. As you can see, he seems like a very intelligent, level-headed human being, so it's kind of hard to believe he tried to kill anybody. His daughter was in attendance at the trial today, and as I would do, and I don't hold anything against her, she sprinted out of the court once the verdict was delivered, and that's nothing against her. I mean, I don't hold the sins of the father against the children. I don't believe in that. He did it. She didn't. She's probably devastated that she'll never see her father again unless there's like a plexiglass partition in front of him. So I feel sorry for her. But him, no pity. I wonder what prison. I wonder if he'll go to a supermax like Pelican Bay, where you get like 1 hour outside in another cell with like a convertible top, so the sun can hit you. In 23 hours out, you're in your cell by yourself. I wonder if he'll go there, or if he'll go to like some insane asylum. You know, Hinckley. Speaking of insane people, I've heard he gets released now. He's no longer incarcerated, which is fine. The man's not a threat to anybody. And if you don't know who he is, because I'm much, much older than you, he took a shot at President Reagan. And that's how, we got the Brady bill when it comes to guns, because James Brady was there and he got hit with one of the bullets. But yeah, he's out now. Fun fact about that, my father is a retired police officer and he was on presidential escort, and he was there when Reagan got shot. He was literally right there. I'd like to get him on one day because he's got some really fascinating stories. He was a cop in D.C. for like 20 years. So he's got some crazy, crazy stuff. But he doesn't like talking about it. So I don't know. We'll see. This schmuck, President Marconi, whatever his name, I hope I butchered it. The French president has decided to acknowledge and welcome a Palestinian state. And remember, he wants to welcome these fools into the world. Not the guys who are getting executed, the three subhumans that executed. That's who he wants to welcome into the UN and acknowledge they have a state. This guy, another person who I really don't care about one bit, Candace Owens, another raging anti-Semite, has accused this man of being married to a man, a transsexual, and there's a lawsuit or something going on. Who knows? It's just one idiot trying to be a bigger idiot than the other idiot, and it's like hold my beer time. But yeah, he wants to acknowledge Gaza, Palestine, or as I like to call it, Never Never Land, because it's not a real place, never has been, as a state, regardless of the atrocities they commit there on the daily. Like every hour on the hour, this man wants to acknowledge them and welcome them with open arms to the world. Yeah. If you've never watched my show, I stopped trying to figure people out, and I talk about that. I'm too old, and I don't care why people do what they do. It'll drive you insane if you try to figure out why someone is doing something, because you never will. So don't try. It's not worth it. But in today's podcast, we're going to talk about the title of the podcast is called "I Found the Village's Missing Idiots," and we're pretty much going to talk about idiots. For this podcast, because there's a lot of them to talk about, and they are constantly proving to the world that they are idiots. And then we're going to talk about one of the brighter spots in the last week and a half, and then we're going to go right back into idiots. It'll be fun. Trust me, we're going to have a good time. Once again, we have the chat here, so if you have any questions, please feel free to post them. I will try to get to them. If I don't respond right away, I'm not ignoring you. I'm trying to multitask. And if you're a guy at my age, you realize that's not an easy thing to do, multitasking. I'm like got blinders on. I do one thing and then I have to do the other thing and I have to do the other thing. So yeah, if you say something I don't respond, please don't take it personally. It's not meant to be personal. I will try to go between both. So if you see me like stop talking and looking down, I'm trying to respond to a text or a chat. I mean, I'm sorry. So please, I'm not ignoring anybody and I'm not being obtuse. One of those nights. It's been a long day. Just a long couple. It's been like a long week and a half. It's like one thing after another, after another, after another. And just when you think you've caught your breath, you get hit again with something else. And it's not been a good week. It's not like, it's exciting. I'm celebrating. It's been a pretty crappy week altogether. In general, it's been pretty crappy. And the way I look at it is, knock on wood, it can't get worse. Hopefully, it can't get worse. I mean, I've been known to be wrong once in a while, so it's possible. Unlikely, but possible. Let's get into it now, shall we? This is what happens. Well, kind of let it play back. فقد تقرر حكم الإعدام على هؤلاء المتظاهرين. خليه يكمل. وعلى راسم العميل الكبير ياسر ابو شباب والعميل الكبير رامي حنس والعميل الكبير احمد جنديه والكبير عاشور المنسي انكم تشاهدون هنا like I said, we're not going to show anything like that. We don't show snuff films here. But that's Hamas and Gaza summed up. What I'm really sick of hearing is when people tell you, that's not all the people in Gaza. Okay. If it's not, why aren't the people in Gaza helping Israel get the hostage back? Why have they not done anything? Why every time do they show something happening to Israel and they flash a camera to Gaza, there's thousands and thousands of people on the street dancing? Why is it that? Why am I to believe that, it's a small minority of people in Gaza that want to kill the Jews? When every time I see something happen in Gaza, it looks like everybody's out of their house dancing. So I don't buy that. And if that's the case, I'm sorry. Maybe you should stand up and fight back against your government, because if not, Israel's going to park and lot your country. And I don't care. The sooner they do it, the better the world will be. I don't feel any pity for them. I don't feel sorrow for them. I feel sorry for the hostages that were taken, over a year ago. I feel sorry for the hostages that were killed by Hamas. I feel sorry for the hostages that died in Hamas's under their capture. I feel sorry for the families of the hostages. I feel sorry for the soldiers' families, the IDF who've died defending and fighting Hamas. And that's where my sorrow ends. It does not extend into Gaza. It never will. It never has, and not in the future. I'm not a proponent. I don't look for war. I'm not a hawk. I don't think it's great, but sometimes violence is the answer. And that's a sad fact of life, but true. Sometimes violence is the answer. When you're dealing with a terrorist organization and a country who has in their charter or constitution, whatever you want to call it, the destruction of the Jewish state, you can't reason with people like that. You can't afford to compromise with people like that. You have to eliminate them before they eliminate you. And the rest of the world is either too stupid or too naive to understand that. And Israel's almost doing this on their own. There's a few countries that have, I think Japan has come out and said they won't acknowledge Palestine. I can't remember who else. A couple other countries have come out and said they're not going to recognize Palestine ever, which is good. It's how it should be. But again, you have France, Australia, and a couple other countries that have just really shown their ass and are going to, recognize a terrorist country. And I believe it's the Prime Minister of Spain, I think it is. She's refused to acknowledge, again, Palestine under great pressure from people in her government. She's refused to do it, as opposed to Marcone, Albanese, Carney, Starmer, all these other leaders from other countries who've just buckled and decided to kiss ass and virtual signal by acknowledging a terrorist state. That's on them. Now, people may say, well, what's the harm? What's the harm of, acknowledging Palestine? What's the harm of doing any of that? What would be wrong with it? And I'm looking for notes. I'm not ignoring you. Why should they be a state? Why shouldn't we recognize them? What is wrong with that? And I'm going to tell you what's wrong with that. Because you get demented SOBs like that shoot people that have nothing to do with anything. Nothing to do with anything. This man went to a country club in New Hampshire this weekend and shot 2 people and killed one while screaming "Free Palestine." While screaming that, yelling at and shooting people who have nothing to do at all with the issue in Israel. Nothing. This sick, twisted dent, this stain on the underwear of humanity killed an innocent man. That is the problem with the anti-Semitic rhetoric being spread around this world. That is the problem with these people acknowledging Palestine. This is what happens when you don't smack down bullies. They breed other bullies. And this idiot, and I'm not going to even say his name's up there, but I'm not going to say it, is the result of the Candace Owens. What's that other guy? It looks like he just got done taking a shower with your neighbor's dog. Carlson Tucker, and other anti-Semites that just can't stop, and they want to blame Israel for everything. This is what you get. This is what they cause. And they'll sit back and smile and go, hey, it got nothing to do with me. I didn't do anything. I'm just speaking the truth. I'm just telling you how things really are. This is what you get. Innocent people die. Those other people make millions of dollars and have millions of followers, which is frightening. That is frightening. That's what keeps me up at night. Not a nuclear attack, not zombies, not Godzilla, that those anti-Semites, and there's more than just 2 of them, there's lots of them, have millions of followers. That's what frightens me, and that's what keeps me up at night. That they have that many people who agree with their violent and hateful rhetoric. That's what scares me. And it should scare you too. I mean, that's how it started back in the 30s. One little man with little ideas and just a nasty, miserable human being spewing bullcrap like they're doing now attracted a following. And then what happened? 6 million people, 6 million plus people later, they finally put an end to it. This is what we're going to get. It's going to be more people like this as long as these other schmucks are allowed to run their mouth and say what they want to say without getting any pushback. I am not calling for violence. Not saying we need to be violent, but what I'm saying is we need to take a stand and tell these people that what they're saying is BS and we don't want to hear anymore. If you know somebody that follows these people, you need to ridicule them. You need to call them out publicly. You need to embarrass them. Shame them into stop following these people. And people say, well, that's what the left does. I don't care. We're talking about people being killed now. These people are breeding people that kill others. Is it okay for them to do that? Because we don't want to be, we'll sound just like the left while people die. It's time to become loud and obnoxious. It's time to start embarrassing these people. Time to start holding them accountable for what they do and what they say. And what they say causes this. These people at a country club minding their own business. This dude comes in the door, screams "Free Palestine," and starts shooting. One man dies. One man dies. Let me ask you another question. Kind of, turn it around. How many people have you heard got shot where we're shooting people while screaming, "Free Israel, save the Jews"? How many of those people have been committed murder? I haven't heard of one of them. Not one. And then there was a guy in Florida today. Apparently they've arrested him for trying to burn down a synagogue. And another guy they arrested the other day, either today or yesterday, was arrested trying to burn down the Israeli, I believe, consulate. Got in there, said I was going to burn it down. These people are dangerous. And the people that are causing these people to act like this are even more dangerous. And I'm sorry, something in my eye. We just can't sit back anymore. I mean, they killed Charlie Kirk. They're shooting innocent people. They're trying to burn buildings down. It is escalating. And if you can't see that, you're being willfully ignorant. You are choosing not to see it. It's getting worse. Every day it gets worse. Got to do something about it, people. We just can't sit back and let this go on anymore. I mean, this country embraces everybody, regardless of religion. We can't let a few bad actors change that. And keep in mind, at the height of the Nazi regime in Germany, only 10 to 15% of people or were considered in the Nazi party. Only 10 to 15% of people. That means the other, 80, 85% of people didn't say a word and let it happen. They sat back and let it happen. That's what happens with the silent majority. Yeah, well, there's more of us, but if you're silent, you don't change anything. You don't affect anything. Things get worse. I took a trip several years ago to Austria with a friend of mine and his fiance at the time for their wedding. And to get to the wedding, we had to travel through Austria, and we got to stop at Mauthausen, which was a concentration camp in Austria. It's on a hill that overlooks, I believe the city or town is called Mauthausen. And you got to walk through it, went through the crematorium, the gas chamber, or the execution chamber. They had the barracks still up where they slept, and maybe 1,400 square feet, and they put 200-300 people in it. It was very, very sad. It was humbling. And what happened was when it was liberated by the U.S. Army, I believe, the general that was in charge of the battalion that liberated the camp made the soldiers go down to the town and brought them up to the concentration camp and basically said, you all knew what was going on here. There's no way you did not know what was going on here. Now you get to clean it up and bury the bodies. And he made the townspeople do that. That was on a plaque at the concentration camp. If we're not careful, we're going to be like those people in that town. We know what's going on. We see it. We hear it. It's on the news all the time. And if we choose to ignore it, we're going to be held accountable just as much as the people who are perpetrating it. Again, I'm not calling for violence. I'm calling for assertiveness. I'm calling to stand up and don't let these people continue doing what they're doing. It's that simple. I mean, being obnoxious is worth it if it saves a life. Trust me. Being pushy and being loud is worth it if it saves a life. We can't sit back and let anti-Semites write the narrative anymore because it's costing people their lives. And I'm not lying. Turn on the news, read it. You'll see that they're killing people, trying to burn down buildings. It's got to stop. It's got to stop. And if we don't stop it, who will? Yeah, if this were on my show, and if Damon could tell you, he probably would. If this were my show, I would have already been like pulling my hair out, screaming and yelling and cursing and all sorts of things. But again, I'm trying to be very professional. This is not my show. You people are here to see Alexandra, and of course, you got me. So I'm trying to be as professional as she is, and it's tough. She's a classy woman. I'm on here with a Mickey Mouse T-shirt and my Navy hat. So, but I'm trying to keep it PG, and I hope I'm doing a good job. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to a commercial break, and then we'll be back and we'll talk about some more interesting stuff. Maybe.
Hi, I'm Alexandra Levine. I'm a professional opera singer, actress, TV, and radio personality. Since 2015, I've been a volunteer, a field director, and a campaign manager, learning the ins and outs of the political world. That's why I became a political consultant. My job is to lead you to victory with organization, structure, and the mindset of winning for your district or state. With my guidance and direction, I can keep you focused on the things that matter to the people and advise you on key issues that need to be addressed. If you're a serious candidate that is serious about winning, then book a consultation with me today. Go to levineconsulting.co. You'll be happy you did.
See, she's not only is she the podcaster here and the White House correspondent, she's also a political consultant, and she's like Batman. During the day she does this, but at night she's Batgirl. That would be more appropriate about Batman, because she's not a man. I don't know if you've ever seen her before, but she's most definitely not a man. So we'll call her Batgirl. But yeah, she's, like I said, she's a smart chick. She knows her stuff. She's a fellow tribesman, and if you're running for office or anything, I would strongly advise that you get with her and let her help you. She's a smart cookie, very smart cookie. I never understood that saying, smart cookie. I don't get it. Maybe I'm not supposed to get it. You just say, oh, okay, she's a smart cookie. So this segment, and again, my smart ass is showing, and I apologize. The title of this segment is Birth Control Could Have Prevented This. And we're going to talk, this kind of piggybacks on what we just talked about with anti-Semites and people breeding violence and perpetuating stereotypes and perpetuating anti-Semitism through their actions. As everybody knows, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Nobody sets out to do something wrong when they think they're doing right. If they feel they're right, they don't think what they've done is wrong, and it will never be bad. And it's always good because I feel like I'm doing the right thing. And that's where you start to get on that slippery slope of feelings, because feelings change. They get worse over time or they get better. Either way, they're not the same. The way I feel right now and the way you feel right now is going to change before we get to like 45 minutes in this podcast. It will change. So those people who run solely on emotions or feelings are very dangerous for that reason. You can't predict what they're going to do. You don't know how to react because, again, how they feel is going to change. It could change in the middle of the conversation. So what we're going to talk about are people in this segment, people that are completely ruled by their feelings, utterly. They show no intelligence. They show no logic. They show no fact. They just spew out their feelings, and that's how it has to be. And if you don't agree with their feelings, you're the problem, and you have to be dealt with. And we see how the left deals with people now. It's very obvious. Some actors, most of these people are has-beens or no names, or some of these actors are in movies that have gone straight to like DVD in the bargain bin at 7-Eleven. From reading it, I have not seen very many, if any, like major A-list stars. But a bunch of stars have got together and they've signed signatures to a pledge that they won't work with Israeli-based movie producers or anything based out of Israel when it comes to filmmaking, because they believe that Israel is participating in a genocide. We got the hair lip wonder Phoenix here, and then I don't know who Chubby Tubby is. I have no idea who she is, but apparently she's signed the list too. And I think some of these people signed the list just so they can get famous and people will remember their names. Some other morons, or as I like to call them, useful idiots that have signed it. We have, I'm trying to find some names for a minute. Mark Ruffalo, the guy who plays the Hulk in the Avenger movies, just another flaming idiot. Then we've got Tilda Swinton. She's been in a couple of flicks. Javier Bardem, the guy from No Country for Old Men, literally has not been in a movie in like 5,000 years. If you didn't see him and you just heard his name, you would have no idea who he is. I got a picture of him just so I think I got a picture of him. Yeah, I got a picture. This is who that is. Yeah. God ruined a perfectly good penis when they put ears on him. But he signed the list, and I'm sure he signed it just to stay relevant because, like I said, who knows who he is? Deborah Winger, again, a B-lister. Who else do we have here? The hair lip, Emma Stone, Peter Strasgard. It's kind of shocking. He's a pretty big actor. Guy Pearce, Yeah. Fisher Stevens, Eric Andre, Elliot Page. Elliot Page. That's who I'd want signing anything I had to put out. Doesn't like who she is or he, whatever, but it's going to sign a petition fighting somebody else. Yeah, you don't even know, you don't even like who you are as a person. So I don't really care. And right now, I think it has the letter surpassed 3,900 signatures. So there you go. These people are breeding and fueling people like that. Their anti-Semitism is telling these people who are already mentally unbalanced that it's okay to hate Jews. It's okay. They're committing genocide. They have to be stopped. We have to stop them. And then you get trash like this that goes and kills people who have nothing to do with anything. These people are breeding those people. These people and others like them, not just these two, not the hair lip and the spokesperson for Dunkin' Donuts, not these two people. People like them and others. And I think they're also wearing the red hand pin, and they have no idea what that even is. They have no clue that that's tied to murder, flat out murder. They have no idea, but they're wearing it because it's cool. Because when they go to their cocktail parties in La La Land, everybody has them on, so they think they have to. What we need to do is stop going to the movies. Stop doing anything that has to do with Hollywood. Hit them in the wallet. Make them shut up. When it gets down to it, nobody goes to the movies because they agree with somebody's politics. Well, the left does, because the left is very shallow. They have the depth of a sheet of paper. Most people don't go to the movies because, hey, I agree with his politics. I'm going to go see his movie. We go to the movies because these people entertain us. They are entertainers. I don't go to the movies because I think they're deep philosophical thinkers. I don't go because I think they have something wonderful to say about whatever, political thing is going on for the day. They are there to entertain me. They're not so much different than like a dancing monkey or a football game. I don't care what you have to say. Don't care. Dance for me. Make me laugh, make me cry, scare me. Beyond that, shut up. Really. Now, there are people out there, and we all know them, but they're probably in your family or your friends or coworkers, that their life revolves around movie stars and reality TV, that these people to them are gods. And what they say is how things should be, and they don't question it. There are people like that. And that's what these people thrive on. That's how they live. They're leeches. And you want to break it down even further, they're professional liars. They make a living lying and playing roles. I doubt they remember who they really are. They've probably played so many roles and been in so many movies, they couldn't tell you who they are. I don't feel sorry for them. I don't think anything they do is considered a hard day's work. I mean, they make, $20 million a movie, and they might have to work 6 months every 4 or 5 years. And, it's grueling. I'm away from my family. You know what? You know what's grueling is listening to your BS telling me about how bad Israel is. You tell me how bad Israel is and how wonderful Gaza is. Maybe they should watch this. Maybe they need to. Israelis. That's not the idea. That's not television. Those are people in Gaza. Those are members of Hamas who are going to kill people because they're collaborating with Israel. Those fools are supporting this. This is what they're standing up for. They need to watch it. Then again, they will refuse to see it. Propaganda. If this were Israelis doing it, they'd be all about watching it. They'd be pointing their fingers and saying, look at this. This is why we got to stop. This is not Israelis. They don't care. They don't care. I don't watch anymore. They don't deal with reality. They can't because they don't work in reality. That's not how their life is based. Their life is based on BS. And we have to put up with it. And this guy, I mean, I don't know why. Well, no, I do know why. I just said why. But I don't understand why people put so much weight into what these idiots have to say. I mean, really. They don't know about the real world. They've never had to live paycheck to paycheck. They've never dealt with the things that are going on in Israel. They've never had rockets shot at them. They've never had their family raped and murdered and taken hostage. They've never dealt with this. So they listen to some propaganda, have never seen that video I showed you, and they know it all. Now they have all the answers. They know exactly what has to happen in Israel and the world. Only they know it, and we just need to bow down to Javier here because he knows exactly what's going on, and only he has the answer. I mean, look at him. I wouldn't trust that man working a midnight shift at a Circle K in Alaska. But people are going to take their political advice from that moron? I mean, really? They're going to take it from him and these two who are wearing pins on their chest that commemorate and honor a murder? These are who people are listening to? Because they act well, so they must know what's going on in the real world. We should listen to them? These people are idiots. They are idiots. And you're an idiot if you listen to them. Even the ones that say, no, Israel's right. They're actors. Who cares what they have to say? I don't. Never have, never will. Listening to an actor to help guide your political leanings is like going to McDonald's and trying to get a healthy meal. It's not going to happen. You're not going to get it there, and you're not going to get it from them. What you're going to get from them is emotion and feeling-based thought. Don't listen to them. Don't. They're not doing you any good service. What they're doing is for themselves. They're trying to make themselves look more socially woke than the guy next to them. It's all about trying to out-idiot the other in Hollywood. Who can be the biggest moron? And this is what you see. They're going at it now, trying to prove that they really care more than the guy next to them. And meanwhile, you've got people in Gaza being executed in the street because they support Israel. You've got hostages that are still being held because they're Israeli. And these dents don't talk about that. They got nothing to say about hostage taking or rape or murder or theft or terrorist activities or summary executions in the street. They got nothing to say about that. They want to believe that Israel's starving Gaza, keeping food from getting in there. And we already know that's BS. There's food there. I don't know how many people have gone under with cameras into Gaza and shown you there's fields of food that they can't have. It's got nothing to do with Israel. Israel was supplying them water and electricity before all this started. Israel will let them come into their country to work or go to school or get medical help. Not the other way around. But they don't want to talk about that because that doesn't fit their narrative. They want to talk about how evil Israel is and how bad they are, which is not true. It's not true. If they were truly committing genocide, this war would have been over months ago. They'd have stacked bodies up on the side of the street like cordwood, and it wouldn't have taken long to destroy everybody there. Everybody. They're not trying to kill people. They're trying to kill Hamas. It's Hamas's fault for hiding in schools and hiding in hospitals and hiding in communities. If that's where the bad guy goes and you're hunting bad guys, what are you supposed to do? So tired of hearing about this, tired of hearing about these fools that think they have some secret inside knowledge that none of us have. It's only them. And we got to listen to them. Because if we don't, we're no better than the Israelis because they're just killing folks, killing babies, children, wholesale. You don't really believe that. And I hope nobody that watches this now or later, and I'm sure if you're watching Alexandra's show, you're not stupid. And I know you don't believe that. I know you know it's a bunch of BS. But you got to make sure you tell everybody you know it's BS. And they got to tell everybody they know it's BS. We need to boycott Hollywood. Boycott them all. Even the good ones, boycott them all. They don't do anything for us. They don't make your lives any better. Hollywood disappeared tomorrow. How would your life change? What would you have to start doing that you don't do now if Hollywood disappeared tomorrow? Seriously, we don't need them. They need us more than we need them. It's like the same with Jimmy Kimmel. Who cares except the left? I don't care if he ever has a show again. I never thought he was funny to begin with. I think he's a loudmouth, pretentious idiot who tries to do the old shook thing. He's a moron. I don't care if he's never on TV again. It wouldn't affect my life if he never comes back. It wouldn't affect my life if none of them were on TV anymore. And that's how we have to approach this. They are not important. What they say is not important. Either you entertain me or I'm done with you. It's that simple. Boycott Hollywood until they start getting back to what made it good, when they just made movies and entertained us and weren't worried about or putting their nose into politics or trying to force opinions on us. Go back to those times. That was fun, entertaining, good movies, musicals, stuff like that. They don't do that anymore. You can't watch a movie nowadays without some political undertone to it anyway. I mean, I tried watching the new Superman movie the other day. It's political. Why can't you just make a movie to entertain me? Why do you have to try to shove something down my throat? Why do I have to be forced to listen to some political belief in a movie about a man that wears tights and flies? It's crazy. It's just crazy. And we need to take this country back from these morons, because if we wait too long, there'll be nothing to take back. It'll be gone. The country that we know will no longer exist. And I don't want that. I don't think anybody that watches this podcast wants that. Got to do something. Got to do something.
Welcome to America's Pulse Network. This is APN's very own White House correspondent, Alexandra Levine.
This is so amazing and miraculous. We've never had a president in the history of our nation doing this. And we hope to God that he continues doing this forever and ever. Thank you. God bless you, everybody. And God bless President Trump.
And God bless you.
Hello, everyone. This is Alexandra Levine with the America's Pulse Network. I am the White House correspondent right here in the heart of D.C. as President Trump is celebrating 250 years of America and the military.
Subscribe and follow America's Pulse Network on the above social medias.
So that's one of like I said, you're watching her show now. She's also the White House correspondent, does a great job. Then you have Damon Galdo, the Hammer, who has his show, Jersey Shore, SURE, 2 days a week. Great show, great guy, very funny. It's sometimes with his show, it's really hard to tell what he's doing, because if he sits down, you can't see him anymore, because I think he's like 3'2". And when he stands up, there's not much difference. So you really got to make sure he's got his camera right, or all you're going to see is like the top of his head and like his knuckles on the desk. So if you watch his show, you need to send him a chat like, hey, put a booster on your seat. We can't see you. And I love busting his butt. He's a good guy, and he gives me a hard time too. So it's a little give and take. And then, of course, you have me on Sunday. It's 7 to 8:30. Definitely different feel when I'm on my show than is here. Again, I'm trying to rein in the inner sailor here and be professional, because Alexandra has a very professional show, and I don't want to ruin that for her. So if you've watched me before and you're watching me now, you're like, Jesus, is he feeling sick? No, I'm just trying to be respectful. I don't want to ruin her podcast because I can't hold my tongue. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. And then, of course, tomorrow night we have the Pulse, where all of us get together and we discuss whatever comes up, like a round table type discussion. Then we usually have Elena Barbera on there. Great lady. She's like the yin to everybody's yang. Very mellow, very, very calm, very on an even keel. Complete opposite of me. And then we always have another guest. Sometimes it's Tim Fazenbaker. Has the best head of hair I've seen in a long time, or other people. But yeah, and we have another podcast starting, I think, in October, early October. And I don't want to get too much into that because I want it to be a surprise, but it's a good group of guys. Again, they're out of Jersey, but don't hold that against them. You can't pick where you're born. Thank you, Donald. I like the Pulse too. So we have that in common. The Pulse is a great show. But the new podcast is coming up. And again, I don't want to get too much into it. I want it to be a surprise. Good group of guys. They're out of Jersey. Again, don't hold that against them, but it'll be very good. I think they're going to get a very big following very quick. So keep that in mind. And I think they're going to be Saturday nights at 7 7 to 8, if I remember correctly. And again, we'll talk about that more as we get closer to their premiere show. And like I said, it'll be good. I mean, there's not really any bad shows on this network except for mine because I get very emotional, passionate. That's the word. I get passionate, very passionate. So unless you've been living in a cave under a tree in the middle of nowhere, you're aware that Charlie Kirk was assassinated and they caught the person. And as soon as that happened, everybody's been trying to cash in on his death. I mean, it's been disgusting. Everybody's got some little, I heard this, and this is what's going on, or Israel was involved, or, a bunch of sick people who have no life and are trying to cash in on that man's death, which I think is abhorrent. I think there's no lower form of life than somebody who would do that. Trash, just trash. And there are people doing that. And out of all this BS and conspiracy theories and all the horrible things that are being said about Charlie Kirk, his wife at the memorial. I don't know if you've watched the memorial service they had. Very good, very touching. I'm kind of shocked at some of the speakers because of what they said. Really, I'm surprised they weren't yoked off stage and tossed out into the alley. But when Erica Kirk spoke, it was refreshing. She forgave her husband's killer, which I thought was profound. I don't know if I could do that. If someone were to kill my partner, my spouse, I don't think that's something I can do. And we did show the memorial service on the Pulse. I don't know if you watched it. And I think if you go into Rumble, it's still there, so you can watch it there if you haven't seen it. But yeah, she forgave her husband's murderer. I couldn't do that. I'm not a Kirk. I'm an Eisenberg. I'm not forgiving. And I'm not ashamed to admit that. I'm not perfect. I'm a human being. I love and I feel and I have wants and desires. And I don't think I'm that kind of person that could forgive someone that took someone I loved away. For something as callous as the reason this trash did this to her husband. I don't. And then I say that now. Who knows? Maybe if that were to happen, I would have a moment of grace, and I could. Sitting here now, looking at it from the outside, I'm just saying I couldn't. I have nothing but respect for her for doing that. She's a better person than me. I'll tell you that right now. When it comes to this, she's a much better person than me. I think we all could learn a little something from her, maybe. And I don't think that's why she did it. I don't think she did it just so she could go, oh, look at me. I'm so perfect and I'm holier than thou. I think she really meant it. I think she said that from her heart. And I respect that. She forgave him and it doesn't, and I'm assuming with forgiveness, she's not wishing any ill on him or anything like that. And I respect that. And like, again, I could go on about that for hours. It's like I don't know if you watched my show on Sunday. I talked about the young man at that Catholic school shooting, Victor, what's he, 8 or 9, something like that, who laid on top of his friend and took a bullet so his friend wouldn't get hit. A kid took a bullet. She forgave her husband's murderer. These are the kinds of people we need more of in this world. These people will guide us or guide the country to a better place. If we had more victors, that little kid, I mean, literally think about that. And I'm not trying to take away from Miss Kirk at all. I'm not. A kid lays down on his buddy so he doesn't get shot, and he takes the bullet meant for his friend. A kid. I just said Sunday, I don't know many adults that would do that. I really don't. That takes something more than just your average everyday person. Forgiving the man who killed your husband takes more than what the average person has. I can't imagine standing in front of 200,000 people, I think they said, were part of the memorial service, and to say that and mean it takes something special. For Victor to lay across his friend while there's a madman shooting, knowing there's a good chance you're going to get shot, but doing it anyway. And you do get shot. And he's a child. A child. That takes something special. And we need more of that. That's just my opinion on that. She's a very special woman, and I wish her nothing but healing. I wish her nothing but the best. And for Victor, like I said Sunday, I hope nothing but good things happen for him the rest of his days. If there's something he could win, I hope he wins it. If there's something he needs, I hope he gets it. I hope he never wants for anything in his life. He's earned that. He's earned it in spades. Both of these people have earned that. But we need more of that. But don't get me wrong. Along with that, we need people who will not back down. We need people who will not bend their knee just to get along. We need people who will enforce, for lack of a better term, what's right. Again, I'm not calling for violence. I'm calling for assertiveness. I'm calling for being loud and being obnoxious and doing the right thing no matter what they're going to label you. That's what I'm talking about. We need that along with this, with more Kirks and more Victors. We need that. I think that would be awesome. So, yeah. I wanted to end this whole podcast on a good note. And I think that's a pretty good note. Ms. Kirk and Victor. By the way, Victor's, I think last week he was released from the hospital. He's home, healing up with his family. And that's awesome. I can't stress this enough. And on the show on Sunday, I talked about it too. It's a child, not an adult, not somebody in the military, not a first responder, not a nurse, not a doctor, not anything. It's a child. A child took a bullet for his buddy. A kid. Let that sink in for a kid. Like I said Sunday, whatever it is, these two have it. They have it. And God bless them for it. I mean, God bless them both. So I had talked to you earlier, and I said, Alexandra wasn't here. I keep saying Alexandria. She's more important than a city, I'll tell you that. And I explained that, she's off for Rosh Hashanah. And I wanted to explain to everybody that in case you didn't know what it was and why she needed off. It's the Jewish New Year, pretty much. It's a time of self-reflection, judgment, and renewal that begins with the blowing of the shofar, or shofar. I can't pronounce that. If my father will listen to this, he'd go crazy. He went to Hebrew school. I didn't. Blowing the ram's horn. And they eat sweet foods like apples and honey to symbolize a better year, new year coming up, and to step out of the year you're leaving on a good note. So that's what she's doing with her family, and I hope they're having a good time. I think that's awesome. I think apples and honey, I've never tried that, and I know I'm a bad Jew, but it sounds like it's pretty good. I think I might try that tonight before I hit the rack and go to bed. But that's what she's doing. She's not ignoring anybody. She's not like, they can wait. She's got a legitimate reason, and again, she's with her family, and I hope she's having a great time. I hope her family's having a wonderful time, and I hope they have an incredibly prosperous and happy New Year. I wish that to everybody who's celebrating Rosh Hashanah tonight. Have a great New Year. I hope everything you want and need you get, because we know the ending of the last year was not good, and it can only get better. Yeah, right. There you go. See, they got the apples and the honey. You put the honey on the apple, and it's self-explanatory. I don't need to get into that. You know what it is. You're smart people. But that's what she's doing with her family tonight, and that's great. I'm happy for her and her family. But she will be. I think she'll be on tomorrow night on the Pulse. I'm not sure. I think she will be, but she'll definitely be back next Thank you, Donald. Same to you. But she'll definitely be back next Tuesday for her show. You won't have to sit and look at my ugly melon again unless you want to watch the Pulse or the Conservative Corner. But she'll be back for sure, which is a good thing. Like I said, she's awesome at what she does. Everybody's very good in this network at what they do. They're great. Let me see here. What do we got? I don't know if you are aware or have seen him on the Pulse or if you live in Baltimore County, Maryland, but Tim Fazenbaker is running in District 9. Again, he has the best head of hair I've seen on a man in my entire life. Other than that, he's a great person, very approachable, very intelligent. He's got a family. When you talk with Tim, it's not like it's never a bother to him. He makes time to talk with you, and you get his undivided attention. He's very involved in his community, and I hope he wins. I mean, I don't even live in that county, and I want him to win. There's a QRC code. You can scan it and get more information about Tim and his platform. And if you so feel it, donate some money, because running a political campaign is not cheap. And the higher you get up in that ladder, the more expensive it gets. So if you want to donate a few bucks to him, I'm sure he'd be more than happy, more than gracious about it. I would strongly suggest you do that. As I've said before, always support the most conservative candidate you can find, whether you live there or not. And he is definitely the most conservative candidate in that area running for that position. And him winning would only be a good thing for that district. It's Tim Fazenbaker, great guy, good guy. And he has a lovely singing voice, I've been told. Very lovely singing voice. Like the angel of our times is what I've been told his voice sounds like. I don't know. I made that up. Also, Alexandra is helping these two young ladies in New Jersey, Constant Detzel, and I don't mean to mess her name up. If she's watching, I apologize. It's not. I don't mean to. And her running mate, and I can't. There we go. No, just Constance. But you can, again. There's a QRC code, and if she's helping her, I know that she is a conservative who has the best intentions and wants to help the people of her district. So I would support them both. If you could, again, scan the QRC code, send them a couple grand, help them out, get them into office. Same thing with Tim. Send him a couple grand, get him into office. You're not going to regret it. It'll be money well spent. That's who she's helping right now. Two good people. Two sets of really good people. So yeah, give them a hand. Also, if you like the podcast, not me, if you like Alexandra and Damon, the Hammer, and the Pulse, and then you like my show, make sure you follow and like us on Rumble, on X, and all the other platforms we're on. The bigger we grow, the bigger our voice gets, and the bigger our voice gets, people have to listen to us. They'll have to take everything we have to say seriously. So help us grow. Helping us grow helps you. Because I'm assuming if you watch any of our podcasts, you're a conservative or you feel the same way we feel about most things. So helping us helps you. Also, if you're interested in advertising or sponsoring one of the programs, again, go to our website. In the upper right-hand corner, I think you could click on sponsor, and then you just kind of follow the prompt from there. There it is, www.americaspulsenetwork.com. If you go there, you can find everything you wanted to know and probably stuff you didn't want to know about us on that website, and you can sponsor us. Or if you're interested in having your own podcast, that would be where you would go to apply. And if you do that, then you got to sit in front of the tribunal, which is all of us, and then we throw questions at you with a bare light bulb hanging from the ceiling, and you can't see us, and we're walking around just firing off questions one after another, trying to break you. And if you don't break, we give you a show. No, it's not like that at all. It's a phone conversation, and it's very easy. But if that's something you're interested in, again, go to www.americaspulsenetwork.com. I'm pretty sure it's the upper right corner. You click on that, and it'll walk you through what you need to do. This is for me. We're not getting into it. Scan the QRC code. I'm not big on talking about myself like that, so we're skipping right over that. We're skipping right over that. There we go. And again, it's Alexandra Levine's live. Again, scan that QRC code. Find out all you want to know about her and the show and all. She's an opera singer. She's a political consultant. She's a sales problem. She's just, like I said, she's Batgirl. Something during the day and then different stuff at night. It's crazy. But yeah, she's, like I said, she's a fellow tribesman, smart lady, does a good show. And if I like her, that's all you really need to know. I like her. What more do you need? Damon Galdo, the Hammer, good guy, great show. Also has a radio show. Check that out. And then again, the man with the plan, Damon Sherrod, the man behind the curtain, controls everything. Without him, we couldn't do all this fun stuff, and we wouldn't be reaching the tens of people that we do. But yeah, thanks for tuning in and watching. I'm running over. I apologize. Again, if you like the show, please follow and like it and share it with everybody you know. Again, the more people that follow us, the more people that are involved, the more change we can affect. Donald was all over the chat. That's awesome. So I want to thank him for actually participating. That makes it funner when we get to interact with people. Other than that, y'all have a good evening. What's left of it? Tomorrow's hump day. Week's half over. Get the weekend. Get to relax. Again, if you're celebrating Rosh Hashanah tonight, Happy New Year. Enjoy the time with your family. Eat an apple and some honey for me. I'd appreciate it. And again, thank you for tuning in. Alexandra will be back next week. She'll be on here tomorrow. And I'll be on Sunday at 7 till 8:30. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great evening, and thank you.
America's Pulse Network. The mainstream media is bought and paid for. The truth is twisted to fit their agenda. But America is waking up because podcasts are the future for trusted media. Welcome to the America's Pulse Network. It is a network built by patriots that upholds the Constitution. The America's Pulse Network stands for God, truth, and the America First movement. There is no corporate propaganda, no government spin, just real news, real talk, and real voices fighting for faith, freedom, and the future of this great nation with common sense. Here are some of America's Pulse Network podcasts. Alexandra Levine Live, hosted by Alexandra Levine. Jersey Shore Podcast, hosted by Damon Galdo. The Conservative Corner, hosted by Seth Eisenberg. APN's The Pulse, hosted by Alexandra, Damon, and Seth. So tune into America's Pulse Network on the following social media platforms: X/Twitter, Rumble, Truth Social, Facebook, and YouTube. Join the revolution. Because the pulse of America beats for God and country. America's Pulse Network is for faith, family, freedom, and truth.
Conservative Corner Podcast. Hoist the standard. Stand fast and sail with Captain Seth Eisenberg every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Yo, all hands, hoist the colors high. Heave ho, thieves and beggars, never shall we die. Now some have died and some are alive, and others sail on the sea with the keys to the cage and the devil to pay. We lay to fiddler's grave.